Almost 50 runners from southern Arizona were in today's Boston Marathon, and as you just heard, most have been accounted for. Our Craig Smith has some of their survival stories as Craig continues our Not on Your Side Boston Marathon bombings team coverage.
Jennifer, the Boston Marathon dates back 116 years. For runners, the history and the crowds of this world-famous race make being in it a glorious moment. But today, someone worked to steal that glory and turn it to heartache and death. Joe Templeton was 4/10 of a mile from crossing the finish line when the bombs blew. He was running with a group from John Hancock, raising money for charity. He says the charity runners attract the most spectators, and the bombs seemed to be timed to kill when the crowd was the biggest.
Their families are so excited to see them, and such an accomplishment throughout life. And now some of those people are gone, and some of those people are really injured.
Joe Stapleton lives in California now, but he's a U of A grad who grew up in Tucson. His dad, Bill, knew Joe was running, but when the bombs blew and the cell phones jammed, he could not find out if Joe was okay.
I couldn't get a hold of him, and finally, I got a hold of my daughter in San Diego, and she said, "Dad, I just got off the phone with him. He's okay," and so was his buddy that he's running with.
Like Joe Stapleton, Charlie Ware remembers the crowds, the exhilaration of the moment that turned to such grief.
It's such a joyous moment when you're crossing that line, too, because there's thousands and thousands of people all cheering for you. And it's a joy, it's a feeling of joy when you're coming in that last mile. It's shoulder to shoulder on all the streets with people cheering you on.
Tucson runner Keith Schlottman was far enough away to not feel or see the blast firsthand. Seeing it on TV was bad enough.
I did watch it for a few minutes. They were cycling it through, and to be honest, it made me very emotional. I had to leave and go to my room and just try to work through that because it looks pretty horrible, and especially just because I love marathons so much, it's difficult to see something so tragic happening in the very event that I love so much.
But now he'll be one of thousands working to forget what happened in Boston. Now, the runners we talked to are all grateful to all the friends in Tucson and elsewhere who were so concerned about their safety. Joe Stapleton, for instance, could look at his phone and see with texts, emails, and calls, people tried to reach him more than 240 times. Jennifer, Guy.
Craig, thanks so much.